journalist who I really like is Saurabh Dwivedi of Lalan Top. There was a photograph of his with Amit Shah at the Bharat Mandapam, where a lot of journalists were invited, and just for the record, I was also invited. Suppose Sudhir is sitting with the, Chomu, tu yahan kya kar raha hai? मैंने तो सिर्फ पत्रकार दिल से सर ये मुझे चोमू बुला रहे थे, तुम चोमू बुला रहे हो, मेरे कह चोमू बेकार में झगड़ा होता है, they throw me out, so I don't go only. I'm just wondering what the panel has to say about tomorrow. CPIM is in power and they are having their May Day celebration, and they invite you as the, consulting editor for Charcha or Hafta. Would you not go for ideological reasons, or RSS you would go because you're from an RSS family?
Point of going to such meeting is that you should be allowed to ask questions.
Yes.
Okay. Which doesn't happen.
I am quite disappointed with Indian Express.
Why?
For the entire week of the 11 years, every day they had one or two pieces. One day by Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav, one day by Hardeep Puri. And they're not saying anything unique. This is very valuable real estate. You have space for 6 op-eds. Do one, you've said your bit. Now let us give space to someone who... Same Ghisa Pita, what Mr. Modi has transformed this. Mr. Modi has transformed that.
The op-ed pages are, I think they're very clear that it's balancing act. While discussing Kamal Hassan's opinion on Kannada, Jayashree and Abhinandan ignored the falsehood in his claim that Tamil is the mother of Kannada.
I'm not a linguist. I have no idea about all these things. So I really am not an authority. I was just an agreeable Punjabi agreeing with the Tamilian Jayashree. So I had nothing to say. But I will just say this.
Feet of clay. Your idols are failing you. What is this?
The agreeableness of Punjabis are famous for their agreeableness.
No, but I will just say...
Chaiwala says, hi, Team NL. Chaiwala 2014, in case wasn't specific enough. Genuinely puzzled by the decision to feature Ashutosh in a full-length interview. But I'd much rather see Abhinandan with ML Sharma. Come on. Ashutosh and Amal Sharma. Poor Ashutosh. That's really mean.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता सब्सक्राइबर्स टेक कभी नहीं छोड़ते. In case you're wondering what is this out of turn Hafta doing, this is our second, or is it our third? Second subscribers take. We have a new mechanism so that we can address all your suggestions, critique, inputs and emails. Because so many come, so on the regular Hafta we take about 4, and all the ones that collected, which go into 50, 60, almost 70 this time, we address on a special subscribers take episode, which is what this is. So on the subscribers take episode, we have Shardul Katyayan.
Hello.
Manisha Pandey.
Hi.
Joining us, freshly having attended, addressed, and addressed the... So I already said addressed, right? I'm saying it twice.
Attended,
okay.
addressed.
A word so nice, you say it twice. Attended, okay. I didn't say addressed, so I just said only once, okay. Jayashree, who had a subscribers meet in Chennai.
Yes, and it was great. And now I'm also been made the admin of the subscribers Tamil Nadu group. So I feel very powerful.
Yes.
Which all this to mean that we will hopefully have another one soon.
Crush the rest of the country, Jayashree. We'll crush them.
I've always wanted
We
this, and it's
Tamilians,
finally
there's a
come.
lot of Tamil hate coming. Just a lot of Kannadas, you and I pissed off. But I'm going to put it all on you. It's your fault. I'm not a Tamilian. I'm Punjabi.
To be fair, you were the one who made the comments.
Why am I being
So,
dragged into this
just to say.
South Indian battle? I'm fun you, baby.
Did you say something about the Kamal Hassan thing?
Nothing she said.
I didn't say a word.
She endorsed
He said, she said, he said, she said.
You said, oh yeah, but Tamil is the oldest language. I think I said or something in my defense.
No, you could have said,
So,
if you were true Tamil, you would have done.
that
Your
is just
Tamil
for
chauvinism has been pointed out.
And Raman Kirpal joining us. And I'm Abhinandan Sekhri. We are recording this on the 19th of June, which is a Thursday. Hafta subscribers take. So, we only take seriously criticism and suggestions of subscribers. If you're a subscriber, mail us at podcasts@newslaundry.com. I repeat, podcasts@newslaundry.com. If you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber. Here's the QR code. There is also a link in the show notes. Subscribe and pay to keep news free. Be a part of the group or the tribe that is leaning on the direction that news should take. And that happens through us as professionals and you as the guy and ladies and gents who are making sure that our direction is not determined by large corporations or government ads. So that is why we encourage you to subscribe, not only so that you can mail us although that is also very welcome.
Kaushik says Sekhri and his Washington Post guests tiptoed around the stark horror in Gaza using terms like humanitarian crisis, collateral damage, without once using words like genocide, ethnic cleansing, or war crimes. When Jayashree referred to the situation as genocide and called out the lies spread by New York Times, Abhinandan deflected it with a counterfactual question on Hamas and the PLA, with himself and his guests to go on a rant about evil Hamas. There was not a single question about Western media bias or the Washington Post's controversial role in reporting the conflict. For so-called media watchdog, your hypocrisy and moral posturing were deeply disappointing.
You cannot put Jerry on the line for his Washington Post decision. I may have critique on it, but I think the expectation, and I mean, I'm not saying you're doing this, but I think there is an expectation, just like what Arnab does, get a Pakistani and start pounding him. Many of our subscribers who do identify with the liberal side want us to get someone and start pounding him. What will Jerry say? I'm just, what do you think? He's a very small cog in a very big wheel. So I think accountability should be sought from the right forum. It should not be just take out your bhadas on whoever's sitting in front of you.
Ritesh says, on the recent NLH 539, while discussing Kamal Hassan's opinion on Kannada, Jayashree and Abhinandan ignored the falsehood in his claim that Tamil is the mother of Kannada. Kannada is not derived from Tamil. Both evolved separately from Proto-Dravidian, now extinct language from over 4,000 years ago. Proto-Dravidian split into branches that became Kannada, Tulu, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Gondi, Kuruk, and Brahui.
I think the discussion that we had, which was over a Kamal Hassan headline, and you are right that this entire Tamil nationalist take of Kannada being derived from Tamil is to a great extent I think it is to a great extent nonsense, only because I don't think there's a serious linguist who accepts that contention, even though within the mythology of Tamil circles, that is the concept. And with respect to Kamal Hassan, I think he said it, and then I think what was even worse is that he dug his heels in. So I think that's what really pissed off people. And you think that, this shouldn't be it shouldn't be a big issue, but language is a very thorny
In
sort
fact,
of issue.
the Supreme Court has said something yesterday.
Because his movie was banned in Karnataka, so they said mobs can't decide.
Can't
on
decide.
whether-
I mean, I think it's a fantastic, firm position taken by the Supreme Court, and
Yeah.
many courts in
Yeah.
the past have hemmed and hawed when we have, someone has hurt someone's feelings. I think the
Yeah.
Supreme Court said that, dude, you may like her. But Ritesh, very, well articulated. I'm not a linguist. I have no idea about all these things. So I really am not an authority. I was just an agreeable Punjabi agreeing with the Tamilian Jayashree. So I had nothing to say. But I will just say
Feet
this.
of clay, your idols are failing you. What is
The
this?
agreeableness of
What
Punjabis
a-
are
what a
famous for their
shame.
agreeableness.
No, but I will just say on the one thing I kind of disagree with you is
Okay, Anish says, this is an AI summary of a very long email. Says, in my previous mail, I mentioned that Tamil Nadu has issues with any language other than Tamil, not just Hindi. And this stems from a long-standing superiority complex. So when Kamal Hassan speaks ignorantly and claims Kannada was born from Tamil, it doesn't mean Abhinandan and Jayashree should jump in with half-baked, ill-informed opinions. Well-researched fact that Tamil and Kannada evolved from a common ancestral language. Tamil literature may be old, yes, but that doesn't mean Kannada is inferior. If this continues, Abhinandan and Jayashree might soon sound like our non-biological PM, warning people
God.
that speaking about another language will cost them their Mangalsutra and cows. My God, that escalated quickly. Tamil Nadu's resistance to the idea of a third language isn't about preserving identity, it's about ego and ridiculous superiority complex. I respect Tamil and its heritage, but distorting linguistic history and gatekeeping culture needs to be called out. Still, it's your show and your freedom. I like how he's given you concession. Jo karna hai karo,
I
tumhara
think
show hai.
both Chandrasekhar and Anish's emails are very well articulated.
Yeah. There's more on this, man.
Yes.
This is really like stirred up.
See, the
a-
whole- the la-
Don't worry, Manisha, but you're getting your turn.
Yes.
Oh.
Operation Sindoor will be.
Sindoor pen कहना चाहिए था मुझे आज. In support.
Before you go on to the rest of the mails, I just had a little discussion I just want to throw in here, which I saw on Twitter, because since this is subscribers' take, we can take an issue which is not newsy as such. I saw the context is a journalist who I really like is Saurabh Dwivedi of Lalan Top. I think his style and content are both amazing because he does a fantastic balance of, at one level, if you are ad funded, you have to pander to audiences, but at the same time, you have to have some sort of that there was a photograph of his with Amit Shah at the Bharat Mandapam event, where a lot of journalists invited. And just for the record, I was also invited. I was not in town, but I can't promise I wouldn't have gone if I were in town. And so, I mean, you may dislike Saurabh for other reasons or not. I'm just wondering what the panel has to say about any, officer holding a position as a minister, having because this was for digital media, then they had a separate lunch for print,
traditional media also.
separate
So
for
editors,
broadcast. Yeah, so they had for broadcast.
Over 2
for
days they had,
over
like-
the 2 days. So, let me start off with Shardul. Just for the record, they've stopped inviting me the last 3 years, but RSS used to every year invite me for their Holy Milan, and I used to go. There were no people with cameras around. Not that I would bother if they were, but if someone invites you as courtesy, I'd go. I mean, I didn't go because I wasn't in town, so I want to know what is your, like, tomorrow CPIM is in power, and they are having their May Day celebration, and they
CPIM
invite
is
you
in
as
power.
the consulting editor for Charcha or Hafta. Would you not go for ideological reasons, or RSS you would go because you're from an RSS family?
No, they will not invite me. Other people may. But the question you ask is valid, and all I can think is people do have some questions, and I have been asking questions about Saurabh. Especially, I remember.
There may be a question. I'm talking about, here's a photograph. I'm talking on this basis. Otherwise, people have likes or dislikes for a variety of reasons. That's fine.
So what I'm trying to say is, in this background, that they feel he is sort of holds back on BJP people, especially after Adityanath interview. They seem to imply that he has also joined the ilk of complete bootlickers. But everything, especially on X, like, it's a hellhole, right? So everything is black and white. Everything has to be partisan. There are no nuanced takes. And
would you go?
I will go, yes.
Okay.
But
why these things have become complicated today is because the BJP itself has polarized the atmosphere so much that either you're with us or you're not with us, that everyone starts to view.
They won't invite, let's say, Anram.
Yeah. So, or forget not inviting. That's a very mild thing to do. They actively go after people that they don't like. So I think,
would I go? I mean, yeah, I'd probably go because I think it's access. I don't think I would go because of the courtesy of them having invited me, so therefore I would attend. I'd go because, yeah, I mean, you're curious, you feel like seeing what they're up to. I probably would. But I think what Shardul said is very important, though. I don't watch Lalan Talk because I don't understand it, but I think it's important that if you're saying that he's holding back now on his interviews or whatever, and then I think that it is not unfair for people to then make certain associations about his attendance online.
As a journalist, as someone who covers BJP, so it is educative, one should go. But having said that, to say that you will get off the record talk, sorry, Amit Shah is known for.
Yes, now we have a bunch of letters on the Sindhu debate. Manisha, are you ready?
Yes, after the Tamilians have been attacked, it's time for the nationalists to be attacked.
Time for Sindhuri Sham.
No, but Manisha has also gotten a lot of support. So
yes,
that is there. Right, next email is from Arun Kumar, who says, being intellectually challenged and a subscriber for more than 3 or 4 years, I've never had any major feedback and have yet to write in a mail until today, when I heard Sindoor is not patriarchy but a cultural symbol. It's a no-brainer, basically, that Mangalsutra and Sindoor are few of the major symbolic patriarchal impositions on women. The comment that nowadays it's not mandatory or imposed is not that true. You guys are in a different bubble. Go to any part of India apart from metro cities, it's imposed and being humiliated for not being symbolically married. Not even elders, younger generation also sees women in a different perspective if not symbolically married.
I think this is the most compelling argument on this, that just because women in South Delhi do it willingly doesn't mean it's not imposed. And I mean, I know
don't know. Anecdotally, again, I don't know of this imposition, how much of it is. Because you would hear about it. There would be there,
you hear about it.
But we do hear
you hear about
it.
dowry, right? It's pretty much there as a social evil. Women
statistically, here's what I'm saying. Dowry, because you are killed if you don't give it, or that's when you hear
pressure. Killing is extreme.
Yeah, I know, but or an FIR is. I mean, I can, just like I don't have to go to every house to know in Punjab that a woman, when she appears in front of her in-laws, will not have her head uncovered. Now, sure, my friend Sidhu here may not do it, but there you cannot get data on this. But I know enough about Punjab to know that is true. It's true for all of small town Punjab. A woman will not go in front of her in-laws, head uncovered, in a Sikh household. So, I mean, it's not anecdotal. I think there are certain cultural norms that we are aware of living in a society. So just because it's not imposed here, I can't imagine in a village, if a woman does not have her sindoor, of course there'll be tanas from the Saas.
No, I don't know
So,
how true
so
that is.
I will
Because
agree with Manisha here. Like I've lived in, I think,
Yeah, been
small
to
town
many-
India a lot, if not a lot, a bit more than you guys. Like in small villages, sindoor is not the most heavily emphasized thing. It's the toe rings, which is called bichiya.
or the pallu also.
Yes, pallu.
But we're
Pallu
not
and ghungat
saying
is
one
way
is
more
more
emphasized than
imposed.
sindoor.
Cannot be
We're not saying
so.
one is
But
more
again,
imposed than the
it's
other.
all
We're
anecdotal.
saying-
You can't say it
And
so.
I don't disagree with these people.
You
but-
can't say so authoritatively. And secondly, in Uttarakhand alone, I mean, if you look at the sindoor, the way women use sindoor in Uttarakhand is
Dheeraj says, hi, Abhinandan. Since you mentioned international media not calling terrorists, what is your definition of terrorist?
So Dheeraj, I agree with you on everything else, but on BBC, I just think it's inconsistent. If they're talking about an organization that, by the very rules and laws that they follow, has been designated terrorist outfit, then at least they can call it terrorist. But since you mentioned BBC, one thing that really, I really like the BBC because news is jo bache khoche hain, you can't shit on everybody. Because relatively speaking, they're better. But I'm just so disappointed after the Iran's attacks on, the retaliation against Israel. In the first strike, I think there were 4 civilians who died, one of whom was a boy of 12 years. The detail with which BBC described that one boy, unfortunate. Dude, the amount of babies who are killed, have their heads blown out, have their eyes hanging out. They did not describe. If you start describing in such detail every child who's been killed in Gaza,
Yes.
you will need 20,000 hours of podcasts. The double
Even to list every name of every child who has been injured or killed in Gaza would take pages and pages and pages, and they don't.
the
They
double
would not.
standards of how
Yes.
they describe the Israeli casualties and how they describe the Palestinian casualties is disgusting.
And it is always followed up with, but Hamas is doing XYZ. Or it has to be, that they're being used as shields or whatever, whether there's proof of that or not.
These double standards are undeniable now.
Yeah.
Earlier they were veiled or like
Yeah, it's
implied.
undeniable now.
It's so in your face that it's really something.